right, I'm back. I'm at a different location today, right by the San Francisco Bay Trail. Welcome back to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition. This is episode number 38, and as you can see, I'm right by Highway 101, which is a highway near where I live. I live in Redwood City, California, and I'm actually right by the San Francisco Bay Trail on the border of Redwood City and San Carlos, California. I've actually shot a few daily walk videos here before, but I did those before I rebranded everything over to my new coaching business, the Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli platform. So for those of you that just started following me or started re-following me when I started my new YouTube channel about a month ago or so, you're seeing a different location for the first time. I decided to come out here because it's pretty quiet. There's not a lot of traffic, not a lot of people walking by, at least this part where I'm walking down the industrial area right by the freeway, because I really, wanted to get, this message out here today without interruptions. I want to stay on point because I have a lot of great stuff to talk about here. We are, 3 days away from Christmas. And I know there are many of you out there that are going to be spending Christmas alone. Or you've gone through a breakup or a divorce. Or you've had some other recent traumatic experience happen to you. And you're not really feeling the Christmas spirit. I feel you. I totally get it. I've had a pretty interesting year myself. Most of you that have been following me know about my year. I don't have to really get into that right now. You can check back to my former 37 videos in regards to my daily walk series to learn more about that. But yeah, I totally feel you. I feel your pain. I feel your loss. I feel whatever you're going through because, we're humans. And whether you're a man or a woman, we all have emotions. And even for men, emotions can and do hurt. Okay? Even though men and women process emotions differently or respond to things emotionally differently, we still have emotions. Okay? So I get it. I totally get it. So let me get to the topic of today's Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition, episode number 38. And then we'll get right to it. The topic is I'm going to be responding to, or I'm going to be sharing my feedback on what happened on the Shangi show last night that I was a guest on. I am also going to be sharing, who is my content, primarily focused to. That's important as well. And then I'm going to be discussing that emotional strength is what really defines a man. Emotional strength defines a man. You're going to want to stick around for that. I'm going to save that one for last. Save the best for last, right? Well, it's all important, but you know what I mean, right? So anyway, let's talk about what happened last night on the Shangi show that I was on. And by the way, if you missed that show, I will share a link below in the description section of wherever you're viewing this video, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, or on my website. Those are the three places I share my videos for now. There may be more platforms to come, but wherever I share my videos, you will always have the same information below in the description section. So check out that show if you haven't checked it out yet. It was rather interesting because the point of the show was basically to discuss a group of guys that have been following me and, pretty much, have been obsessed with me and they've belittled me and done a bunch of crazy shit to me on YouTube when I used to run my former channel that I shut down about 4 months ago. Just as a recap, I started a YouTube channel almost 2 years ago. And during that time, up until the time where I shut down my channel, my original channel 4 months ago, a bunch of these guys that I referred to as purple pill guys within the MGTOW men going their own way community, did a bunch of shit. They mocked me, they memed me. I had my, girlfriend at the time, who's now my ex, do some shows with me and some videos with me, which I've now realized, I'll mention once again, this video was a bad idea, but they attacked her as well. They created a bunch of merchandise where they used my image and my name, and they sold this merchandise to this group of guys that was getting off on the fact that these guys were attacking myself. They did a bunch of stuff. They've done a bunch of live streams. They've been following me around. They've been obsessed with my entire life. And I'm sitting here, looking back at this now, and I'm like, wow, what the fuck? I'm just a normal, decent, down-to-earth guy, just sharing my stories, trying to help people. And these guys, were focusing, and, to a certain extent, are still focusing a lot of their daily attention on me. They watch me like a hawk. Wow, okay. Should I be flattered by that or what, right? So, Matt, Shangi, and I, we were discussing this, and we figured that, these guys would probably show up and get triggered in the chat, in the live chat, and start talking a bunch of smack. We also figured that they would do some, streams after, the Shangi stream ended. And quite frankly, it went a hell of a lot better than I thought it would go. It was like a very tame response from these guys. It was almost kind of like maybe they are feeling defeated now because Coach Eli actually has some support. And the fact that, when I reconnected with Matt Shangi, well, I wouldn't say reconnect. I mean, I knew who he was. He tried to connect with me in the past regarding this, but I didn't know who to trust back then. But the story goes, maybe 5-6 days ago, I saw another Matt Shangi live stream, because I was interested in, what he was talking about. And I put a, comment in the chat. And he moderated me. And then he reached out to me to see if I was open to do an interview in regards to these purple pill guys that are obsessed with me. And then he invited me to his Mad Shangi Discord, which has also been great. And that's how the story went. So, when I first, I was considering doing the show. I was wondering if I should do it or not. And then once I decided I was going to do it, I was wondering how was it going to go. Was I being set up for an ambush? Was Matt Shangi and his crew, pretending to be nice to me just to get me on the live show and to do to me what these purple pillars have been doing to me for a while. Now, Matt Shangi, I'm sure you're going to watch this. I love you, brother. I have a lot of respect for you. That's what I thought could have possibly happened, because you never know what's going to happen. People can come off as the nicest, sweetest people in the world, and they can flip on you. They can ambush you. And on YouTube, where, you can create unlimited sock puppet accounts, you can be whoever you want to be, and no one will ever know. So when I got on the show, and it was it ended up being a very civil show, my respect for Matt Shangi continued to rise. And, he asked me a bunch of questions. He discussed what these guys did, and it was a pretty, it was a pretty decent show, to say the least. Okay, it was, I felt like I was finally given a voice, and I felt like I finally had support from a group of people that really understood what I went through. Now, here's the interesting thing. These purple pill guys came into the chat under fake sock puppet accounts, and they were trying to talk their usual smack, but it was so easy to figure out that it was actually them, because we all know how they speak. We all know how they write. And you know, after you've been following people for a while, you see their writing patterns, and you see how they say certain things, and you can pretty much figure out within 90% accuracy who it is. So they didn't come in as their, regular account names that they usually use. They came in under fake sock puppet accounts and tried to do it that way. And we just didn't let it get to us. We continued on with the show. We discussed everything. And, it ended up, being a lot better than I thought it was, or I thought it would be. Okay? Now, I was thinking, after the Mad Shangi live stream ended, that one of these guys would create a post-game live stream like they used to do. And they haven't done that. And they still haven't done that as of the time of this recording. So, I mean, I'm coming out here and saying, who knows, maybe these guys feel defeated. Maybe they finally realize that, hey, the gig is up. Maybe they realize that it's just not worth it anymore, because Coach Eli here is no longer feeding into your BS. One of the mistakes I made in the past, when I didn't really understand how YouTube works as a content creator the last time around, one of the mistakes I made was I was feeding too much into it. I got sucked in to their world, and to kind of reason with why I actually got sucked into it is because my numbers were growing. But my numbers were growing with the wrong people that were there to connect with Coach Eli for entertainment purposes, and not for his coaching services or his his teachings, my teachings. Okay? They were there solely to try to, trigger me so they can get off on that and, get their entertainment, their dose of entertainment for the day, so that way they can feel better about themselves. Because the truth of the matter is, a bunch of these guys, they'll never admit it. Their behavior says it all. They're just miserable and unhappy with themselves. So rather than, working on themselves, either through seeking help or coming to us for help and trying to befriend us more than kick us down so we can help them become better men in this case, because they're men, they kick other people down, so that way they can feel better about themselves. That's exactly what they're doing. And they were pretty much called out on that. Excuse me a second. I've got this... something stuck in my throat. I'm not sick. I just had something go down the wrong tube before I left my car. And so I had to clear it out there. Okay? So to make a long story short, who knows what these guys are going to continue doing. Every so often they'll probably... check in on me and do a response video on me or do a live stream on me. But it doesn't really matter, because I'm no longer feeding into it. And now I feel that I do have the support from the Mad Shangi crew, including Mad Shangi himself. Now, interestingly enough, there was a stream done by one of Mad Shangi's friends, a lady named Rose Blade. And I actually remembered her from my former channel. I think I had all you folks blocked on my former channel, which is funny. I think I had almost everybody on the Mad Shangi crew that I'm now connected with in the Mad Shangi Discord and on their channels. I think you folks were all blocked because I didn't know who I could trust or not to trust back then. And I just felt like once I decided to remove myself from the MGTOW community, which was about maybe 4 or 5 months before I shut down my former channel, and I started focusing on a different community, I just, didn't trust anybody from MGTOW, so anyone that would come in discussing MGTOW stuff, I would just block them. But it's interesting now, like, I'm connected with these people. I went on to Roseblade's stream where they were dissecting my interview, and Matt Shangi was on Roseblade's show with her. They actually gave me moderator access, so I have moderator access on Roseblade's channel and Matt Shangi's channel, and I just kind of felt like, you know what, that they actually care. Another note that I'm going to make here, I did hear a couple things that you said, Shangi, and I say this with a lot of love, man. I'm not, I'm by the San Carlos airport, so you're going to probably hear some planes fly over. Okay? I'm not, saying this to, be upset or anything, but give me 1 second. Someone's coming by, and I don't want them to think I'm nutso here. There are a few people out here today. It's pretty interesting. I heard you say, Shangi, that, you don't respect any of these guys, and basically, if it wasn't for them, you also mentioned, you would have never known about me or known I existed, or we would have never connected in the way we connected. And then you went and said, oh, shit. Woo, a lot of planes taking off right now. Then you went on and said that, I don't respect Coach Eli. You said it, I don't think you said it in a rude way, but you did mention it, and I'm not offended by it. Actually, I understand why you feel that way, because I have not earned your respect yet. It's going to take a lot more than, just recently joining your Discord and, doing an interview with you to, earn your respect. What I will say, and this is what makes me a strong man compared to these other fucks out there that aren't strong, okay, is the fact that, you know what, I will earn your respect. And I'm not butthurt over what you said. It doesn't bother me one bit. You've been very civil with me. Another fucking plane taking off. Wow. 3 planes have taken off since I've walked to the tail end of this block where the airport is at, where the runway is at. I mean, you can kind of see it over here. This is the San Carlos airport. It's not a major airport. It's a small airport where private planes, take off and land from. It's pretty cool, actually. They used to also have a cool little restaurant on the premises of the airport that I used to go to during my younger days, but that closed down about 7-8 years ago. A lot of shit has closed down because, out here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I live, commercial rent, commercial leases have fucking tripled. So businesses that had older leases from the past, once those leases expired, their rent doubled or tripled. And there's no way some of them could survive off of that. Everyone's honking at me. There is actually a lot of traffic out here today. I mean, there's a Burger King out here, there's the airport, and there's a place called the Hiller Aviation Museum. So anyway, and people see someone with a selfie stick walking and doing a video, and, they just honk. They love doing that. But yeah, no, Shangi, I'm not butthurt that you said you don't respect me, because I have not earned your respect yet. But what I do appreciate about you, Shangi, is the fact that, you know what? You're being civil with me. You understand my situation. You've welcomed me to your group, And I will tell you, through the Mad Shangi group, okay, a gentleman that I talked about in the previous video recently, Riff Magos, who is actually a full-blown MGTOW monk, red pill guy. Another plane taking off. Is a part of that group. And last night, Riff Magos and I, we actually had a private conversation. Within Discord, they have what's called VC, voice chat. And you can go in there with whoever else is in there and have like a big-ass conference call. And Riff and I were talking last night, and I said, you know what I learned from my past experience on YouTube and what I used to think about MGTOW? I learned that the only real MGTOWs out there are the MGTOW monks like yourself. Everyone else is not MGTOW. You know? You're only MGTOW if you completely withdraw yourself from anything to do with women or contributing to the system that helps and supports women. Okay? If you're not willing to completely withdraw from all that, you're not MGTOW. Purple pill guys are not MGTOW. Blue pill guys are definitely not MGTOW. Blue pill guys need the most help because they have no spine, and they're the type of guys that conform to, you know, everything a woman wants and needs because that's what they think women want, but they don't know any better. You know, we'll talk about blue pill guys another time. But anyway, you know, I had a great conversation with him last night after my interview. There weren't that many people in the Discord after my interview. There were a few initially, but I wasn't able to get onto the Discord until about 2 or 3 hours after my interview, and it was just Riff and I, and we had a great conversation. And I'll tell you something. I appreciate Riff's support. There's another gentleman in there. He used to go by the name of NYC Korean MGTOW, and he's been very supportive as well. A lot of these guys on my former channel, I had my run-ins with them, and we had our moments of beef, and many of them now are coming back and realizing what happened, realizing, where the real issues were at, which is basically what these purple pill guys were doing to me, and they've gained some respect for me. And I will say this, NYC Korean MGTOW, have a lot of respect for you, brother. You seem to be a very good guy. We've talked in the voice chat through Matt Shangi's Discord. We've also private messaged. And I will say, dude, I think you've been through a lot of the similar things, a lot of the same things I've been through. And I think you and I relate to a lot of things. And I really appreciate your kindness, your grace, and pretty much, extending the olive branch of friendship, which is what I'm trying to say, after everything that happened in the past. So, with all that being said, okay, I respect you, Matt Shangi. I really love what you have going on with this Discord. I really feel that I've found a group of people now that I can work with, and keep in touch with and support each other, because even us men need a support system, and I feel you have a great one there with the guys that you have, the genuine men that you have in your group. And there are even some women in Matt Shangi's Discord, and I respect and appreciate them as well. They're very good women that are anti-feminist, and they support our cause. And my whole thing is this, I respect the women that deserve their respect. Women that are just normal, decent, down-to-earth women and don't take advantage of the system nowadays, I respect. And those are the types of women that Matt Shangi appears to have in his Discord and through his network on YouTube. Okay? So all in all, the show went really well. It wasn't my best performance. I had a lot of ums and ohs on there. I was tired. So, had a long day. I did an interview yesterday with Charles F. Gray earlier on in the day, and it was 2 hours long. And again, I had some technical issues. If you watch that video, the audio and video is off sync because I was having some issues. I believe I have finally resolved those issues, so future interviews and videos will not have that syncing issue. But I was just kind of tired. So if you go back and watch the replay of the Matt Shangi show, it was not my best performance. I was tired, but you know what? I showed up. I was there. I answered the questions, and I was just really relaxed. I was really happy to be there. It felt good to be there. Again, Matt Shangi, if I haven't said it enough already, I definitely appreciate the opportunity. All right, so let's move on to the next part of this video. Who is my content primarily catered towards? Okay? You know, many of you wonder, you know, why am I creating this content here? And why have I been talking a lot about the MGTOW community or the Manosphere community or this former community I used to be a part of on YouTube, but kind of sort of filtering my way back in this time the right way. My content is not primarily catered to any one particular group. I know the MGTOW community is about, you know, withdrawing from women, not cohabitating with women, not marrying or dating women, you know, not even pumping and dumping, not even using women for sex or anything, okay? So, you know, when I come out here and talk about, you know, how to create better relationships between men and women, it's going to be of no value to them, okay? So the MGTOW community is not where I primarily focus my videos on. But what do I like about the MGTOW community and certain men out there that are good, civil, stable men? These guys have their own story, why they went MGTOW. And I'm curious to know why they went MGTOW, what happened to them, and what have they been through. And then comparing it to what I've been through. And even though, if I were to consider myself a part of the MGTOW community, which I don't, you know, I identify myself as Purple Pill, which is not MGTOW, but it is a part of what is known as the Manosphere, especially out on YouTube, okay? The general term for all these men out there is known as the Manosphere. So if you're blue pill, purple pill, or red pill, okay, you're a part of the Manosphere. Okay, and even if you're red pill, which is, you know, basically what's been referred to as MGTOW, if you're a red pillar and you're going out there and just having one-night stands and pumping and dumping women, you're not considered MGTOW. You're only considered MGTOW if you completely withdraw from women permanently. You can have women as friends, but you don't sleep with them, you don't cohabitate with them, you don't marry them, you don't date them. Nothing, okay? I've learned a lot from this group. I've learned a lot from the men in this group that have shared their stories and what they've been through. And boy, have I heard some real doozies, okay? Another thing, the MGTOW community is where most men end up going to or finding first when they go through a breakup or a divorce, because it is the most popular group that men congregate towards. And pretty much it's the only group out there. Okay? Now, you know, there's also the MRAs, which are the men's rights advocates or men's rights activists. But that group's a big joke. That group, I believe, was led by a guy named Paul Elias, who, you know, started something called A Voice for Men. And I started trying to follow some of that shit, and I'm like, these guys sound like big fucking pussies. Like the MRAs, the men's rights activists, they sound like big fucking pussies. And if you've seen the movie, what the fuck was that movie called with Cassie J? I cannot remember what the fuck the movie was called. It was a documentary on the MRAs and the MGTOWs. Anyway, I think it was called The Red Pill or something. I can't remember. I know I've seen the movie. I did a review on it on my former channel, and shit, I seem like an idiot right now. I feel like an idiot, but I can't remember what it is. But you folks know what the name is. It's the movie or the documentary that Cassie J did, and she interviewed a bunch of MRAs, including Paulie Lamb, and she even showed some rallies that the MRAs were trying to run that were, that feminists showed up at. And the feminists destroyed these MRAs. The feminists came on much stronger. The MRAs were acting like big fucking pussies. So I got to be honest with you. Like, I don't have really much of any respect for the MRAs because they're just not strong enough. They're not strong enough. If we're gonna, fight for men's rights, we need a group of strong men that are confident and are not going to sit there and let our voice be silenced. And we're also going to do it professionally and maturely. We're not going to go there and argue women like these MRAs did. Because what good is arguing a woman? Women are emotional. Women are going to throw their emotions at you. And if you feed into their emotions, it's only going to make them more emotional. Okay? It's kind of like, pouring gas on a fire. Okay, there has to be a better way to do this in a professional environment. But the MRAs, in my opinion, didn't do a good job, and it's just not the right way to, attack this issue we have between men and women. Okay? So, getting back on point here, okay, whereas my content catered towards it's primarily catered towards, anyone that wants to learn about male and female nature or relationship nature. If you are one that still believes in relationships and marriage. So if you're the type of person that does not want to become MGTOW and completely withdraw from society or withdraw from women. And there are even women on the flip side that have withdrawn as well. It's much more on the side of men. But, if you're a man or a woman and you still believe in relationships and you still want to have, a great relationship and possibly get married and have kids and have a family, that's where my primary message is focused towards. Okay? But I don't discriminate and I don't shut anyone out. Coach Eli loves everyone, and you can learn a lot from everyone, including the MGTOW guys. The only problem I've had with some people in MGTOW is that they like to project their views onto you, and if you don't agree with their views, they shut you out. Okay? I respect all the views of everybody. If you're a MGTOW monk and you want to withdraw and you never want to feel a vagina again in your life, it's your choice. I actually want to feel a vagina again. May not be the most professional thing to say, but I'm speaking, as raw as possible so you folks understand it. I enjoy the company of a woman. At the same time, I know the stove is hot. Okay? But what I've done is, I've decided to move forward, and I am going to give another woman a chance. But I'm going to do it with the caution and awareness of what I've learned through the red pill knowledge in MGTOW and what I've learned in my past experiences. And some of you out there might say, well, the system is so flawed and so fucked that no matter what you do, you're fucked. And women change their mind nowadays, and women, are so independent, they don't need a man for anything. So they're more prone to leave you for any reason, whether it makes sense or not. Are you willing to deal with that? I understand what you're saying. It makes things much more difficult, and it's much more risky. But I'm the type of guy that enjoys the company of a woman, and I do believe that there are some decent women that have some traditional values still left out there. Are those women still risky? Yes, anything's a risk. Okay? But what I do is I help people navigate through all of this to give them the best possible shot at success. Okay? So that's where my content is primarily focused at. But I love working with anyone. I love interviewing different people. Okay? I love hearing people's stories regardless of what community you belong to. You know, even if you're gay or lesbian, I'd love to interview you and learn more about your community and how relationships work in your community. It's, from what I've heard, it's pretty much the same thing in the gay community. It's just with the same sex. Gay people and lesbian people, they have the same problems that straight people do. The only difference is that they date or marry someone nowadays, because gay marriage is legal in most states in the U.S. here. They date or marry someone of the same sex. Okay? So I just love hearing stories from many different groups. I'm a very diverse person. And I feel that we can all learn from everyone's stories, regardless of what their beliefs are. Okay? So again, my content is primarily, my content and my services are primarily catered towards people that are still open to dating and possibly getting married. But I don't exclude others that I've withdrawn, because we can still learn a lot from them. Because the reason why they decided to withdraw is because they used to, be on what is known as the plantation, like they call it in the MGTOW community. And they got taken pretty bad. And maybe they tried a few times, and they went through a bunch of shit, and they finally decided that, you know what, in today's day and age of modern day feminism and radical feminism and the way the world is, it's just not worth it. Hey, I can understand. If you keep putting in your heart and soul into something, you put a lot of time and effort, money, etc., and it keeps failing, at some point you're going to feel like, shit, should I even try again? I get that. So I understand why some people are withdrawing, but we can learn from these people. And I've learned a lot from them, and it's made me a stronger and better man. I will tell you one thing, even though I do love the company of a woman, and I do believe in relationships, and I, will probably down the road at some point be in a relationship again. I know some of you don't want to hear that, but that's just the truth. I'll tell you, when you are single, you've got nobody, to focus on besides yourself. I can come out here and do these videos and say whatever the hell I want to say, and I don't have to worry about what any significant other, is going to say or feel. There are some women out there that would appreciate what I do. Some women that would date me would appreciate what I do here, and some women won't. But you don't have to worry about that when you're single. So, you know what? I understand what a man is giving up, when he decides to get into a relationship or gets married. He gives up a lot of freedom. Okay, so I can understand why some of you guys withdraw. But for me, I enjoy the company of a woman. I want to hopefully have a family one day. And quite frankly, I just think, women are better conversationalists, especially a woman that cares about you. I feel like women are better conversationalists in certain subjects that I like to talk about than men are. No disrespect to the men out there. I'm just saying, whenever I've been in a relationship, I've always enjoyed my conversations with my significant other. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now, the final part of this video, we're going to talk about, emotional strength, is what defines a man. Emotional strength is what defines a man. And I'm not going to, talk too much about this because this video is already pretty long. How long have we been going for already? Let me see here. Can't even see. 39 minutes. All right. Probably another 5-10 minutes and we're going to wrap this baby up. Okay? The most attractive quality to a woman when it comes to a man is his emotional strength. Okay? Let me get right to the point. Why is that? Why is it that the most attractive quality to a woman is a man's emotional strength? Now, granted, in today's day and age especially, she has to be physically attracted to him. I've just noticed that in today's day and age, where women are independent, they want to have a hot, sexy man just like a man wants to have a hot, sexy woman. But beyond the obvious of the physical attraction, let's get beyond that, okay? The next thing that's the most important thing to a woman is a man's emotional strength. And why is that? Because a woman wants to feel safe and comfortable with her man if they ever encounter any danger. She wants to feel safe and protected. Okay? And if a man is always emotionally butthurt, like a lot of these purple pill guys I was talking about at the beginning of this video, okay? What does that do for a woman? It makes her feel weird. It makes her feel like, this guy is weak and that she's stronger than him. Because women at a natural level are always going to display more emotion than men. They're always going to think with their emotions first, respond with their emotions first. And then they're going to reason with logic. For a man, it's not natural to respond emotionally. The natural reaction of a man is to hold his ground and to have strength. But because of what's happened in today's day and age, and women being liberated, and women, just behaving differently than they used to, a lot of men will respond to many things that women do, and many behaviors from women emotionally. When the way a man should respond to a woman when she's unhappy about something emotionally, and let's say she's really charged up, the way a man should respond to it is simply say, hey, I understand you're a little upset right now. I don't want to pour any more fuel on your fire. Let me give you 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever you need, to, calm down a little bit. And then when you're ready and calm, let's talk about why you're so upset. Rather than saying, why the fuck are you so mad at me, you fucking stupid ass bitch? What's that going to do when a woman's already mad? Whether whatever she's mad at is valid or not is irrelevant. Women are emotional. Sometimes women will get mad at something stupid. And that's normal for them. But as a man, depending on how you react to it, is what's going to, rectify the situation or make it worse. Okay? So that's why I'm saying here that, for men, displaying emotional strength, okay, is what defines a real man. A man that's always emotionally weak, coming off as needy, desperate, and secure, is displaying more feminine characteristics than masculine characteristics. And those types of men, like I was discussing at the beginning of this video, are pretty much more so known as the blue pill simps. The blue pill guys that put women on a pedestal, buy women flowers every day, conform to everything that a woman wants immediately. They drop everything for a woman. Even if you're a strong man, emotionally, and you're not a big fucking pussy and you know how to handle your shit, does that mean you should never do anything nice for your woman? Does that mean that, you should be a total dick? No, you can do nice things for your woman. Okay, but don't overdo it. and only do nice things for her when she deserves it. If she's nice to you, respects you, appreciates you, and does things for you, you reward her. Okay? I hate to make it sound this way. I don't want to make it sound, like all weird and shit, but guys, you basically have to you basically reward women for good behavior, and when they're not behaving properly, okay, you need to call them out in it, but you want to do it with strength. You don't want to yell at them. You don't want to get all emotional. You want to sit there and be cool, calm, and collective and be a strong man. And I'm telling you, the women, if you're dating someone and you're in that situation, she's going to test your emotional strength over and over and over again. If you call her out on something, she may lash out on you. But stick to your guns. Stay strong. Say, baby, look, I'm not trying to upset you, but you know what? Something's bothering me. And I'd rather tell you what's bothering me than let it go. And then it builds up inside and I get really upset. I don't want to be upset. But something's bothering me. Let's talk about it when you're ready. Maybe right now is not the right time. Maybe I'll give you half an hour or 20 minutes. I'll go take a walk while you relax a little bit. And then when I come back, let's talk about it. What do you think about that? No, let's talk about it right now. No, baby, you're not ready right now because I'm not going to talk to you when you raise your voice in that way to me. I really don't appreciate you raising your voice to me. Let me ask you, baby, if I raised my voice to you, would you appreciate that from me? No. Okay. Then why do you feel it's right to raise your voice at me like you're doing right now? Oh, I see. Okay, baby, so I'm going to take a walk for 20, 30 minutes. When I come back, I'll see if you're feeling better, and then we can talk things out, and then we can go on with our night after that. That's the proper way to handle it. But you got to be man enough to be able to have the strength, the emotional strength, to be able to stick to your guns and handle yourself appropriately. Okay? Now, do men lose their shit every now and then? Yeah, even good, strong, normal men lose their shit every now and then. That's going to happen, no matter how strong you are. But even if you lose your shit and it throws your woman off, there's nothing wrong with apologizing and saying, you know what, baby, I overreacted. It was wrong of me to behave in that way. I should have never, ever lashed out at you in that way. I should have never yelled at you in that way. Okay? That's my fault. And maybe you could say, baby, you know what? I'm not a perfect person. Okay? I hope that never happens again because that's not who I am. Okay? Now, I wouldn't promise her and say it'll never happen again because you might have another emotional moment about it. But what I would say is that, look, I would hope that, that never happens again because it's not who I am. I'm sorry. I had a moment. I really care about you. And sometimes certain things kind of get to me because I really love you and care about you. And sometimes maybe I'm thinking a little bit more about, how I feel. I'm not thinking about how you feel. So, baby, I'm going to do my very best to always, take your feelings into consideration before responding in the future. And that's the way to handle it. Be emotionally strong. Okay? And even if you are emotionally strong and handle everything 100%, does that mean it's always going to work? It's always going to pan out? No. If you do everything the right way as a man and the woman is still misbehaving and going crazy, getting all crazy emotional on you all the time, then that's a woman you probably want to withdraw from and say, hey, it's not going to work for me. And then you got to break up with her. And if she asks you, why are you breaking up with me? Because all you do is yell at me, baby. You're not satisfied with anything that I do. I'm being nice to you. I do nice things for you. I communicate with you. I'm doing everything that any normal, decent man would do in a happy relationship, and it's not good enough for you, so I've got to withdraw. Sometimes you got to withdraw. Okay? So that's going to wrap it up today from the border of San Carlos and Redwood City, right by Highway 101, by the San Francisco Bay Trail. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video right where I started it, right over here. And I think I've already walked about 2.5 miles. I think I'm going to do another 2.5 miles out here and then go and process and upload this video and then call it a day. But yes, there's the sign right there, the SF Bay Trail. We'll get a little closer here. And I've actually done the walk over here on this path. If you can see above me right there, it's about a mile or so from here. There's an exit off the freeway over here called Holly Street. I believe Holly Street Redwood Shores Parkway, and then Whipple Avenue is the next exit down. And you can take this path and walk right alongside the freeway or ride your bike, and the Bay Trail continues on down that way. On this side, I believe the Bay Trail continues, like there's a path like over here in this section, and then it just goes down the side. So it's pretty cool. Maybe I'll start doing some more of my videos from the Bay Trail and do it in sections. I think that would be really, really cool. So with that being said, I know it's a few days for Christmas. I hope you're all doing well, regardless of your situation. If you need anything from me, either comment below wherever you see this video or email me at coacheli@coacheli.com. Okay? If you'd like to work with me personally, go to my website, coacheli.com, click on the coaching services tab, and then you'll find many different ways to work with me. I've significantly reduced my prices from the past, and I've put out some better options there, so check them out. If you want to collaborate with me, do an interview with me where I can either interview you, you can interview me, or we can take turns interviewing each other, reach out to me at coacheli@coacheli.com. That's my email. All that information is below in the description section. And one more thing, and I don't do a lot of this, but, you know, all of my work is primarily, you know, funded by donation. And, you know, if you find it in your heart to throw a few dollars that would help me continue, you know, making these videos, just go to my website at coacheli.com and click on the donate tab and donate any amount that you feel equals the value that you've received. Or you can also go to coacheli.com/donate. It'll take you to the same place. All right? So hope you're all doing well. Tomorrow I'm not going to do a video. I'll be back on Monday. I'm going hiking tomorrow with my platonic hiking partner. Yes, my platonic hiking partner for you guys out there. I know I used to say plutonic, but it's platonic. I fucked up a word. You know, I try to use the best possible grammar. I am an educated man, but sometimes even Coach Eli fucks shit up. But at least I admit it. All right, so with that being said, have a good one, and I will see you all soon. See you all next time. It's not raining. The windshield wipers.